Hello guys, and welcome to my FaceIt tutorial. So if you're not familiar with FaceIt, I'll explain the basics to you and how it works, especially with regard to TF2, which recently got into an open beta format and actually works now. So yeah, I'll be explaining that. This guide is mainly for people who are new to FaceIt, or new to playing competitive TF2 in general. I'm not going to go into much detail about the competitive aspect of TF2. You can research that for yourself. But regardless, if you're new to FaceIt, if you don't know how it works, if you have questions, hopefully I'll be able to answer most of them today. So yeah, so let's just get into it. So FaceIt is a PUG matchmaking system. If you're not familiar with those words, PUG means pickup game, which means that it's just a set of players that come together and play a competitive game. And these sets of players are determined differently depending on the system. FaceIt uses a matchmaking system, which means that you go into a queue, and after some time, it matches you with people of hopefully equal skill level against people of hopefully equal skill level, and well, you'll play a game and you'll gain or lose rank depending on how much you win or lose. Anyways, it's a pretty good system. It has some problems in comparison with other PUG systems. Some PUG systems use a captaining system, so one person on each team will captain and pick team members from a list. So it's different than some ways of doing the PUG system, but it's not that bad. Anyways, so when you newly create an account on FaceIt, I'll put the link in the description, or you can look it up online. You will see this screen here. So you'll have the featured games and the amount of players that are playing right now. Mostly is in CS:GO, because CS:GO is very popular for FaceIt. But you'll see here over the right side, you should see TF2 in open beta. So what you want to do is you want to click on this, and actually you want to click on play here. But what it is going to tell you is that you need to register. So if you're going to go back to the main menu, you can also click here, play a game. You still need to register, because this is if you've created a brand new FaceIt account. Like if you've already registered for a Counter-Strike or any other game, this probably won't really show up. So what you need to do is, or add a game or whatever. So you need to register for TF2. So you want to click on TF2 and just go connect. Now, I feel it's important to note that only one Steam account can be connected to any FaceIt account. So if you already have a FaceIt account connected to a Steam account, that same Steam account won't work for other FaceIt accounts. If you're having problems with this, and if you would like to create a new account for legitimate reasons, then you should just contact FaceIt admin or file a support ticket on the website. So after you've registered, you will not see something like this anymore. When you go to TF2, so you just click TF2 in games, you will see this screen here. So this is my actual account. You can see the layout here. So you have events, matchmaking, featured competitions, and if we scroll down, you can see some tournaments, streams, and organizers, and people are online. On the right side, you will see if you have any teams and your friends list. On the top right, you will notice your FaceIt points, your name, and settings. These are just notifications up here. So, how do you? I'll explain ladders right now, actually. So, what ladders are they're opt-in systems. So what you see these ladders here. So you have the super TF2 ladders, ladder, the monthly unranked ladder, and you have the daily unranked ladder. And these are currently open. So the monthly unranked ladder is open for a month. The super and daily unranked or ranked ladders are, well, daily. They just end on different times. So what you're gonna do is when you want to play a game is just click play, and this screen will come up if you've registered for the game. So TF2, there's only 6v6, which will probably always be the case. And here you can select your ladder. So it'll automatically put you into the top ladder for how many people have registered, but honestly, you probably want to go daily first and then monthly. But you just select the ladder. Like, it does not matter which ladder you select, really. Whichever ladder you select, it'll match you with the same people. So you don't need to worry about this. The only thing ladders do, and I'll show you that now, if you go to the Super TF2 ladder, is that if you win games, you will get points. And getting points will increase your rank on the ladder. The higher you are, if you are in the top 3, you will get FaceIt points. So if you're number 1 at the end of the time allocated to this ladder, you will get 3,000 FaceIt points. So you can opt into these ladders. If you win games, you get points. If you lose games, you lose points. So be aware of that. You don't lose a lot of games in one ladder and then D-rank. So that's how you get FaceIt points. And just to go over FaceIt points real quick, they are basically, if we go to the shop here on the left side, you can buy game-specific items and stuff like hardware and all sorts of stuff. You can even buy a car with like an insane amount of FaceIt points, 5 million to be exact. So exactly how much will you get from the ladder? Well, for the monthly unranked ladder, you can get premium, and from the Super TF2 ladder, you can get 3,000, and from the daily unranked ladder, you'll get 2,000. Of course, this might change in the future, but that's currently what it is now. Alright, so now I told you how to get into a queue. You can choose to join a queue as solo, with a party, or with a team. Now, the team is currently disabled. Again, this might change in the future, but it's currently disabled. You cannot go with your team. So the best you can do is go with a party. Now, currently, at the time I'm making this video, a party is restricted to 2 people. So you and a friend. So what you want to do is you want to go up here and go create party. And that'll make a party. It'll automatically pop up your party chat window. You can close that if you want. Just go plus, and anyone that's on your friends list that's currently online, you can add to your party. And once they're added, just go play with a party and let's play. If you don't have anyone else, just go solo. Just a little cut here just to tell you a bit about the actual gameplay. So once you actually queue with a party or a solo, you'll be taken to a match screen similar to something like this, and it'll show a pick ban list of maps. So if you are the team captain, which will always be on the top on either team, so if you're the team captain, you're gonna need to select a map which you want to ban. So you click on a map and then you ban it. Then after all but one of the maps are banned, the server starts running up. So you see like a spinning thing in the middle here, and once it says join game, you just join the game, and it'll pop up this little thing here on the top that shows like, do you want to launch this application? You just select launch application. If you've already given permission for it, then you'll just immediately get connected to the server. If you have TF2 not opened, it'll open TF2 automatically from your Steam. Just make sure though that there's only 5 minutes for you to join. I know like this might sound like quite a lot, but I say only because apparently a lot of people have problems with joining the server within 5 minutes. If you do not join the server after it's finished loading, after 5 minutes, then you will get an abandoning penalty, and everyone in the server will have wasted their time waiting for you. Also important to note, if you leave a mid-game, you're going to get an abandoner penalty if you don't rejoin within 5 minutes. Also, people are going to report you if you don't behave or if you do not play well. So actually, if I go to my account, if you click on account, you will see actually a behavior index rating on the right side. I'm not going to show it to you because it's personal. It's not bad or anything. It's just that there's my account info and I don't want to show it. But you'll see it on the right side somewhere here. It'll tell you your behavior index. If people report you and rate you badly, you're gonna see that go down a lot. But if they like you, then you're gonna see it go up. If you leave games, you're going to get cooldowns. You're not going to be able to play, and you're going to get reported. And if you do a lot of BM in games, so if you play really annoyingly, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get reported to admins and possibly timed out for a very long time. So I'm just saying, like, you can join FaceIt as a new player and practice competitive TF2, but you have to listen to players who are either better than you, listen to their advice, or listen to people's advice on YouTube, like professional players, and just make sure that everyone has a good time and don't throw games. So yeah, on to the next bit. Alright, so let's move on to teams. So you can see I have a team here. You can just go create a team and select a name, a tag, and your game. And that's pretty much how you make a team. Now, I already have a team, and you need premium to make multiple teams, so there's not really a point in me doing this right now. But if you want to make a team, then you can. Now, you might think, I can't even play FaceIt matchmaking with a team, so why would you need a team? Well, there's this thing called tournaments. So these are tournaments that are run by FaceIt, and you can basically register your team for them. So when you join the tournament with a team, or a party, or solo, but with a team you have the best experience. So you can create a team, fill up 6 members, I think you can have subs as well. Yeah, it just depends on the tournament, but this one has 8 slots, so you can have 2 subs. And you can join as a team. Now, there's specific tournaments that I really quickly want to go over. So there's weekly tournaments that are sponsored. In the US, this will be Banny's tournament at the time of making this video. In the EU, at the time of making this video, this will be sponsored by champ.gg. So I'm not exactly sure when these will be coming up, because they're quite a ways away. If we go to past tournaments, we should be able to see. Oh, actually, it doesn't go far enough. Oh, does it? Doesn't actually go far enough back. Alright, well, you can see that there's multiple FaceIt Cups here, and you can basically register for those with your team or a solo. Alright, so prizes for tournaments. This is a default tournament, and it'll have 2,000 FaceIt points in prizes, so that's 700 FaceIt points for the first place for each player. So it's not that much, but in the sponsored tournaments are worth more points, and they're weekly as well. So the prizes for the monthly, I already talked about this real quickly, but if you get within the top 10 on the monthly, you get a premium membership. And what premium will do for you, let me just go over that real quick if you're interested. So premium will allow you to get into leagues, and basically what you have to do is you have to play 3 games in the matchmaking system. So 3 games, and then you'll get ranked. So you either get ranked silver, gold, or master, depending on your performance and your win-to-loss ratio and stuff like that. And these have different ladders. So you know how I talked about the monthly, the daily, and the super TF2 ladder earlier? Well, if you have premium and you're ranked in a league, you have a 4th ladder option that you can opt into. So we can see here that the silver league has a completely separate ladder that only people with premium can get into. If you're first, you'll get 12,000, which is a lot more. So getting premium and getting master, 42,000 FaceIt points, is pretty much worth it. That'll get you a bunch of stuff. So going back to here, I'd like to talk a bit about the ELO. So how the elo works currently is it's just simply a win to loss ratio. So if you win a lot of games, your elo will go up. If you lose a lot of games, your elo will go down. That's pretty much it. And elo is basically a way of matchmaking you against other players. It'll basically try to make an equal elo on both teams, where you'll have worse and better players on your team that are like balanced with the worse and better players on the other team. That's pretty much how elo works. There's like some advanced stuff and complicated things about elo, but that's just the basics that you really need to know. Like, to end this video, I would like to talk a bit about possible future changes. So possible future changes are probably going to include some sort of support for the pro players, because currently when you play in a matchmaking system, you get matched with like the newest of players and the best of players alike, and this can create kind of weird like team balancing issues, where you'll have one really good player with a bunch of bad players matched against a full team of decent players. And because TF2 is also a team game, I mean, you can carry, right? But it's also a team game. This makes it really hard on that one really good player to carry that team. So I would like, me and many others would like to see some sort of separate pro league that all the pro players can opt into and play among their kind, and maybe have some sort of captaining system for that. Because captaining system, which I talked about earlier in the beginning of this video, is often better for communities of people that, you know, they all know each other and they know who is good, and it's just better for pro players, really. I'd also like to see some improvements to elo. So I told you that elo is based upon how much you win and how much you lose. I feel it should have some including stats as well. So based on how good you play as a certain class, you should get some sort of like elo boost if you play well, or you'll lose a lot more elo if you play worse, you know? Also, something that might happen is some sort of way of determining classes. So currently, when you play, the first person, like if you get into a game, you just pick a class. You know, there's no actual matchmaking system that allows you to pick a class before you play. That's because there's not enough players playing right now. So if FaceIt gets more popular and more people start playing it, then I'm sure that FaceIt might implement some sort of way of determining classes before a game starts. Just know that if you're last in the server, you're probably most likely to get to play Medic. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions at all, just ask me in the comment section. And apart from that, that's it.